Oh, guess what, chicken butt?
Guess what? I can tell you one thing. My camera angle is a little off. Please allow me to fix that.
So is your YouTube playing back exactly what we're saying? What is this? And I still can hear myself. I still can hear myself. What is happening?
You're not echoing over here.
I don't
While
know.
Nick gets that figured out, guys, welcome to the very first, the pilot episode. Well, I guess this wouldn't be the pilot episode. We did start a Collect Your Way series way back when. The original idea for that was bringing on other YouTubers to talk about what that phrase that we have built our channel on means to them. What things that they love, and just what does it mean when what things do you collect that are special to you? And so we decided let's revive. I almost said revive and kind of revise that a little bit, and let's bring that back. Let's allow people to come on this show and show off the stuff that maybe they wouldn't show off on any other show. It's
Right?
not going to be your Hulk 181s and your Avengers 4s and your Spider-Man ones and your AF-15s. Like, look, we get it. You got them. I got some of them. He's got some of them. Nobody cares. What we want to see is that other stuff. We want to see the stuff that you keep tucked away in that dark corner, that when you find one in a box when you're digging at a show, you're looking around to see if anybody's catching you, pull it out the box, because you're probably the only person that thinks that's cool. Well, you might be wrong, though. And that's what this is going to be about. It's about you showcasing those oddity items in your collection. It doesn't have to be comic books, but just things you collect that are near and dear to you, that maybe other people may not care about as much in your head. But guess what? You might show some stuff on here that may be something that someone had no idea was even a thing, and spark their love for it, and now their interest in it. And now we have a whole community. We've got Facebook's groups popping up. We've got YouTube channels popping up. And now that's the cool thing that everybody wants to get into. So if you would like to be a part of this show, we originally talked about doing it the first Wednesday of every month. I kind of feel like we should do it maybe every other Wednesday, because at least then we're kind of in a rhythm there. I feel like it'd be, people would get forgetful about it happening. Oh, it's the first Wednesday of the month. Two Brothers Comics is doing their show.
Yep.
So maybe we'll try to do it every other Wednesday. But if you want to be a part of this show, it's a very daunting task. All you have to do is just send us a DM. Holler at us. Hey, I got some weird stuff. I want to show it. And tonight, Nick and I decided for the first episode, we brought on some very, very special guests. These are guys we know very well. We know that they have some really cool oddities and items in their collections that we think you guys would like to see. I know I'm excited to see them. Nick is dying to see them. So let's bring on our guests, guys, tonight for the first episode. The guest of Collect Your Way, Dustin and Nick from Two Brothers Comics. That's right. We figured we'd kick it off for you, show you guys kind of what we're looking for here, let you guys kind of see how the show goes, and then we will sit and wait. Literally, we're just going to sit and wait when the show's over for the DMs to roll in, for you guys to want to get on the list to show up on the show. So share it out, guys. Let everybody know that a cool new kick-ass show is happening right now, and nobody needs to be missing it, because everything that we're going to be talking about tonight is all going to be positive. It's all about stuff
You're
love. Nobody is hating on comics. And you know what? I mean, come on, man. Like, if you don't like us, then stop watching us. That's all I'm going to say. But
nah, bro. Watch it.
it's all love
Keep
tonight
us,
for everything that we collect. And like I said,
keep us.
hopefully it'll spark some love from you on some new stuff maybe you didn't know about. We're going to be seeing slab books, raw books, toys, trading cards, lunch boxes, original art, all kinds of stuff.
Old ass books.
It's not just about comics, guys. Let's just get it all out there on the table. And you guys know I could sit here for days showing you guys the oddity olive branches on my tree. So I just picked a little bit here and there, and it's still a crap load. But if we end up having a week where we don't have anybody, then maybe I'll just pick one of my things because there's still a bunch I didn't even grab any of. So
Well,
Nick, how are you doing? You want to talk at all? Do you have any interest in speaking tonight? I can shut up at any point. I know that I have just taken over, but I am so freaking pumped about this, dude.
so with that being said, I would like to go ahead and volunteer to go first, so you can continue to bubble up your excitement a little bit.
Okay.
And
We want to say what's up to anybody in the chat. You want to hit that?
yeah, we can hit that real quick, and then probably from here on out, we'll probably just kind of flow with it. So if we don't see your chat or don't acknowledge it right, at that point, we'll get to it. But Captain Kyle, Fat Daddy, sounds good.
What's up,
Shane, what's
fellas?
happening?
Shane, how you doing?
Um,
Kyle, what's up, brother?
Warlord, Captain, just reach out to us if you're interested. Cool. No boobs though. We're not putting boobs on the screen unless they're censored. I'm not trying to get burked. Okay. Now, with that being said, I am pretty pumped about what I brought to the table. It's
Awesome.
way better than anything Dustin has brought to the table to show off. Okay.
Now, see, you're already going about it the wrong way. This is not how
No,
we said this is going to go.
because my collection is the best collection. Isn't that what you say?
That's it.
If
That's
you
it.
don't
I
believe
say that
it's
all
your,
the time.
if you don't believe it's the best collection, what are you even doing?
That's right. If you
So,
don't think in your heart that the stuff you own that you love is better than everybody else's collection, then you don't have the collection you really need yet. You know
that's
what I'm
right.
saying?
You need to just keep working towards it. It'll get there.
That's right. That's right.
And
And
if it
don't let
doesn't,
anybody tear you from it.
that's right. And if it doesn't get there, then you're always striving for something
Yeah.
until you get to a point like myself where I'm just like, okay, I got 2 books left I want to buy right now. What do I do?
Yeah. And if
But
nothing
I found
else, then you die a failure.
but then you just start buying manga. So anywho's, so my collection is basically a majority of collected editions, not Jim Mint level, right? I mean, that's taken years
Hey,
for him to accumulate, but
you
I'm
got you got the mini mint
yeah, I
style
mean, I think
going
I'm
back
doing
there,
okay.
bro.
I think realistically, I mean, there's some money sitting on these shelves.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you figure each one of these is between 80 to
Believe me,
100
I know.
bucks.
I just bought a manga box set. I know how much some of this
Bro,
stuff costs
do
now.
you see this right here? You see that right there? That's 1, 2, 3 of them now. Oh, I'm gonna have a sickness. Anywho, so what I do with my collection is I have a bunch of collected editions. I have read like 90% of everything on my shelf. I read it digitally and then I go and buy it in a hard copy because I have a sickness. But that's not really interesting because everybody has omnibuses, everybody has mangas. I'm going to show off some cool comics. I'm going to show off some old books, some novelty items, and some original art. So, what I want to do first is show off some smaller things that I really have
Okay.
fallen in love with. And
Oh,
I've had
that's
this.
awesome, Shane. Rare signed Nirvana collectibles. That's
Oh,
cool.
that is cool. That is neat. So I really got
Come
into cards,
as you are.
right? And so these are 2 of my favorite cards. Dragon Ball Z, of course, naturally. One of my favorite cards on the shelf. And then this is one of my other favorite cards. I think it's one of the most rare My Hero cards. But anyway, so pretty cool.
Nice.
Picked this up. What's really cool about this one is Dustin and I were out at like 10:30 at night. I pulled
Oh,
this.
that's the one.
This is the one, the super rare
Okay.
one where the guy was like offering me all kind
Yep.
of stuff for it.
Superheroes,
Yeah.
comics, and cards out in Noonan,
Yep.
Georgia.
So really have fallen in love with these. I've had to stop though because, well, one, they quit producing some of them. 2, they get really expensive, and I only like them for the art. I don't actually play the game. So there's that. And then let me show off a couple of original art pieces that I really do love. So this is one that I had done a while ago, and it is very unique, very different. So
Hmm.
for anybody who knows what Bluey is, it's the kids show. If you have TV or if you have kids, you've probably seen Bluey. This is Super Saiyan Bluey, done by Jeremy and Bernal.
Oh
Super,
my goodness.
super funny. And actually, I'm a really big fan of this one. So it actually sits up there above the Darth Vader.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, yeah. And then this one is Luffy from One Piece, Monkey D. Luffy, done by Corbin Delaney. Just picked that up last week. I'm trying to prevent the glare, but super cool. So
Not
two
the
of my
last we'll see of Corbin Delaney's artwork on this show.
nope, So moving along, so there's some cards, there is some original art. Let me show you off some of the old books. So I started reading some pretty cool books this year, right? So I'm trying not to go down this path, right? I have too many paths, but I went down it a little bit with some
No, you don't. I have too many pass. Okay, you, sir.
cards, art, not to the severity of you, old books,
Those books are
props,
cool.
omnibus,
Did you say
manga.
props?
Yeah, I got some props, man.
Okay.
Like replicas. I'm trying real hard not to go
Oh,
down there.
prop replicas. I'm
Yeah.
thinking like, did you buy some movie memorabilia that I don't know
No, no,
about?
no replicas. No. So picked this up late last year from whoa. Jeff.
Jeffrey Comic-Con Henson,
Yep.
my dog.
I kept wanting to say a different name. So these are some pretty old Lord of the Rings editions. So I read them all last year. I've always been a big fan of the movies, but finally read the
Yes.
novels. Super sick. So
Those
super.
aren't first editions, are they?
No.
But they were they were early editions.
They're
Though, correct?
earlier, yeah, but they're not.
Yeah, and all the maps are inside. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, those were very, very cool. I remember whenever those got to
Yep.
the house here, I kind of looked through them a little bit. Very, very cool. And
And then
Jeffrey was super cool. He wanted to make sure that those got in the hands of someone who would really, really appreciate them.
Yeah.
So that was very cool of him.
And so here's, another set of additions. Just neat. I mean, but
Yeah.
what kicked this whole thing off was I was reading Hobbit, and actually a year ago, almost to the day, because Rocket City Comic Con is coming up this weekend.
Yep. I'm gonna miss it, but we got baseball, and I
I'm
got
gonna
a
miss
live
it too. We're
tale.
going to the pumpkin patch. But
Oh, okay.
Steve from Spinnerax was selling this book, The Hobbit, an earlier edition of it.
I was
And
jealous of you getting that.
who, Josh?
I was jealous of you
Oh,
getting that.
yeah.
Josh was too.
Yeah. So I was super thrilled. And that kind of is what kicked it off for things like this. And I was like, no, I got to quit. Because then not only that, I started buying, I have like 5 different editions of Lord of the Rings between that shelf and then this one over here. It's ridiculous. And I have more in my Amazon cart I've just not gotten to. But along with that, where some of the props have come in, some of the prop replicas I bought over the years. And I got to stop doing that. But if you're going to have the Hobbit, if you're going to have,
Yes,
you got to have the One Ring to rule them all. And then my wife got me the silicone band for my birthday. But this is done by the exact company that did the original. Okay.
You know what that reminds me of is the Big Bang Theory episode where they
Yeah.
find one of the original rings used on set.
And they don't let it go. And then, yeah. So, but it's 14 karat gold plated, tungsten band. And then again, done by the original person.
Here's an answer
So was super pumped about that. What a workshop. And then it's Jenna Hansen. So an exact replica that fits on my finger, which is unfortunate that I ordered the
Fit
wrong
mine
size.
too.
Too big.
Well, it
It's
was
too
a little
big.
big on mine, but I tried it on. I had to.
Oh yeah. No, it's no big deal. But yeah, definitely, it's still a little big on my hand too. So that's some prop book, but I'm going to save the comic book for just a moment. Now, moving all of that to the side, I had this really nicely organized. Now,
Sorry, I'm just uploading a picture to Instagram, letting everybody know we live.
so this is one of my favorite things I've owned. It is my
Very, very cool setup you had with that too. I was peeping that when I was at the house this weekend.
So what this is, Kanto box set, signed by David Boer with the remark, and also signed by Drew Zucker. Okay, but that right there inside of it is the first time Kanto's ever been put in any type of figure or model form. So I was able to buy 2 of these. I split it with Tyler, so he bought one, I bought one. But we were one of the first 2 people to have one of the first. I think it was 10 total.
Yeah,
So that
it was
is
real low.
That's
Didn't
probably
they do like a gold one and a silver one or
yeah.
something?
And I took the gold one. He got the silver one. But that is probably the most rare Kanto collectible, I would say, almost period. Because it's
Outside of original art, yeah, for sure.
yeah. Like, I mean, I think the only thing you could probably get more rare is, probably like the first cover first, that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
like,
Didn't they
uh,
recently actually put out a figure? Like they are
yes,
working on an actual figure?
I think so. It's through What Not Only, so I'm unfortunately just not going to be, able to do that. Already overpaid for a box of cards. And they
Yeah.
got one card that came in damaged from, I guess the stash loot guys like crimping it in the
Oh, yeah,
case,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and nothing, was ever responded to about that, which is unfortunate. But still a big fan of what they do in their work. And like I said, I think it really has to do more so with the stash loot team versus them. But yeah, so super, I'm super happy about owning that. I think it's something that, oh, you know what I should have done? The first time Kanto was ever in print was the comic shop news. I have it somewhere. I have
Oh,
it.
I know what you're talking about. The Kanto piece?
Yeah, and I have no clue where it's at
The
now that I'm
the
saying it
the
out loud.
the, the newspaper deal?
I cannot find it.
I
Oh
know
my
you had it
goodness.
framed for the longest
I
time
do have
hanging
it
up on the
framed.
wall.
It's somewhere, and now I'm
Okay.
panicked.
Well, you'll find it. It's okay.
Okay, so there's that, and then the last thing I brought, because this is
It's okay.
pretty unique,
It's okay.
is I have an entire
Squishy.
box
Nick is squishy daddy.
of Dragon Ball Z comic books.
There you go.
First thing I ever collected, like a full run of. One of my favorite things in the world are Dragon Ball Z comics. If you know me, you know. But I pulled out just a few of my favorite covers. I love that one because it's got Goku and, as Dustin calls it, Pickle Man and Frieza.
I like the fact that it looks like the old Bronze Age Marvel photo picture
Picture
frame.
frame, yeah. That's why one of the reasons I pulled it.
Oh, that's
Beautiful
cool.
black cover,
Yeah.
and it's
It's
a
got like the
plain,
negative space going on with his
yeah.
head.
And I don't see a single
It's
spine tick
Freezer,
on.
right?
Yeah, I don't see a single spine tick on that black anywhere except for maybe the very top corner.
That'd be a cool one to have in a slab.
Yeah, but super super sick. And
It's a
then this one is
newsstand.
just,
Were they all newsstand?
I think so. I think they all
Oh,
have
okay,
a,
okay.
yeah. And then boom. I just love the artwork on that. I also
Yeah.
have another one right here, and it may actually,
Ooh,
I'm
that
not
got
going to be able to
ugly.
get it to focus, but right up there, you guys can see. Let's see. Oh, there we go. It focused a little. So top right, you can see
Beside Red
there's,
Hulk.
yeah, beside Red Hulk, there's a Goku with Sean Schimmel's signature on it. I was going to pull it down and totally forgot. But another one of my favorite things. First thing I
Yeah.
ever have had signed by
Anyone.
a creator. So super cool. And yeah, that's what I brought. Goku, Lord of the Rings. You
Awesome.
know,
Yeah, I mean,
just bunch of nerd stuff.
like, I mean, I've been to your house. I know what kind of stuff you have, but some of that I don't even know that I've seen. So, I mean, very cool.
Yeah,
Warlord said he's been trying to find Dragon Ball Z comics and has no luck. Man, they're
yeah.
tough. I mean, you don't. That's not really something you ever really see out at like a LCS or something. But we'll keep an eye out for you, man. You know, I owe you one anyway, brother. So you know, if I'm able to track some down for you, man, I'll definitely let you know.
Ooh, you know what I should have done, but I'm not ripping off the wall to go along with my Kanto stuff. My
Yeah.
Austin LeMay. That actually might
Oh
be.
yeah. No, you definitely should pull that down and show it, dude.
I
Awesome.
literally I can't. If I do, it's gonna ruin the frame
Oh, why? Oh,
because of the
because
way
you
I have
have
it
it on a.
command hooked up there.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, it'll either ruin the wall or ruin the frame.
Just point the camera up there at
Yeah,
it.
I'll have to do that in a second. I'll have to unmount it. But
No,
yeah,
he
it's
does. Austin
definitely.
LeMay did this original
Oh,
Kanto piece that I mean is just knock
yeah.
your socks off beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely killer.
So I have it in this corner right here. Whenever I get the room tour finished, you'll see it. But Austin LeMay, Silverbacks, Bernal, Jeremy
Yeah.
Bernal. So some of my favorite stuff. Got my Star Wars,
Got
got the
Deegan stuff
Austin
in
LeMay,
there. I mean,
Spider Man.
yep. I've
So
got Comic Cat 84 art in here. I've got Silverbacks. I've got Deegan. I've got Bernard. I've got all kind of stuff, and I didn't pull all my artwork down and stuff. I mean, like I said, I just kind of I've got so much
yeah,
that is just I kind of feel like is just for me. Nobody else collects this stuff, and it's so many different avenues. So I just pulled a few things from everything. So you know, I tried to represent for every single thing I love tonight You guys know I love my Jurassic Park, Mortal Kombat, Power Rangers. Now, I'm not showing any turtle stuff tonight because I feel like turtles is more of a mainstream acceptable thing to collect among everybody. Um, you know, people give you crap for Power Rangers and maybe Jurassic Park and a little more combat. Nobody's giving you crap for turtle stuff. So you guys know I got all the turtle stuff. I mean, I have the whole complete volume 1 run. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to do like kind of like Nick did. I'm going to wait on showing the comic books last. So I'm going to show you guys some non-comic book related stuff. Um, First thing here, we'll go with Power Rangers. So this is the very first Green Ranger plushy hardhead doll. Now this is literally from my childhood. I just took it out of the box last year because the box was destroyed. My mom bought 2 of these. She gave me one and she held one for me, and I got it last year from her. It is in absolutely impeccable condition and very cool, man. So that is something that I keep sitting on my shelf over there. This is one of the earliest Green Ranger trading cards, and it is not focusing. Focus. Oh, it's not going to do it. Even my camera doesn't like Power Rangers. What is that? Well, that is very upsetting to me that my camera would not focus. Anyway, it's a PSA 9. There it goes. PSA 9 from 1994 Green Ranger card. So just something else really cool. You guys know I love Mortal Kombat. This is where we can get into some stuff that maybe everybody's like, what? So these are unopened trading card packs from the Mortal Kombat 2 video game. So it has stills on each card from gameplay. So I think I'd bought a whole case of these. I opened up probably half to 3/4 of them, got the whole set, and then the rest of them I just left in the packaging. I keep them on the
Those are
shelf.
pretty cool.
I thought it was cool, So this is something that I thought was super cool because this is something I don't think I had this as a child. I can't remember. I either had this one or the yellow one, but this is the very first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers lunchbox. And man, I got this for an absolute steal. I think I paid $3 for it on eBay
that's
because
awesome.
I was the only one looking at it, apparently. So when you talk about stuff that maybe only pertains to your collection, when you can win a really, really great condition first Power Rangers lunchbox for $3 on eBay, and it does have the thermos with it, then you know you're getting into some solo territory. Complete, ready to go. So very cool. I have some friends that collect the old 10 style lunch boxes, and there's several of those that I would love to have, but I decided, you know what, man, I'm gonna go with a lunchbox that's from my time period. So very cool there. Oh, let's put this here. I have started to dabble into original art this year. If you guys remember when we did our 2023 goals, I said I wanted to obtain some stuff that I did not know I needed. Some stuff that was just like, oh my God, I didn't know I wanted that, but I have to have it. So I've been dabbling in original art. And if I'm going to spend the money for original art, it's going to be on this type of stuff here. So would I love to have like some cool Marvel and DC art? Absolutely. But the money that I'm spending is going to be on something that hits close to my heart. So I picked this up just a couple of weeks ago, and I absolutely love it. Jurassic Park original art.
Yeah,
And
kind of tilt it downwards a little bit so it'll block some of the light.
okay, here we go.
Perfect. That's it
There
right
we
there.
go. Corbin Delaney, original Jurassic Park artwork here. Very, very cool. I stay on the lookout for original comic book art from the top series for Jurassic Park, and I have yet to luck up enough to actually find any that really is something that I want to drop the money on. It's got to have a cool dinosaur on it. You know what I mean? Like it's got to have one of the Velociraptors, the Brachiosaurus, the sick Triceratops, the T-Rex. Like it's got to have something there, Next up, this is actually my most recent purchase here. This was my very first ever purchase from Heritage Auctions. And again, it's one of those things that nobody was looking at it, so I got it for a very, very cheap price. Very cheap price, and that is Mortal Kombat original artwork. This is from the Midway Goro Prince of Pain, issue number
Yeah,
1, page 7.
that's awesome.
It's got, I mean, the whiteout is on there. It's inked. It's got the
balloons.
pasted on bubble letters.
Yep.
So the word bubbles are just glued on there.
Balloons.
Balloons, excuse me.
Justin's gonna come through the camera and kill you.
Right? Absolutely.
Hey, that kind of looks like Goku up there doing the
That's Zagat.
spirit
That
bomb.
is a sorcerer that showed up, and then you have Goro down there, and then of course you have Goro at the bottom here. So this was being published. This was published alongside the first Mortal Kombat comic series as a tie-in. So very, very cool piece of artwork to have there. I do have a piece that features Scorpion and Sub-Zero fighting, and it is a published page. That is actually right now with my framing lady. And I also have a page featuring Raiden that is also with my framing lady. So I do have more coming. I've got them. I've paid for them. I've had them here. I've loved on them, but they are with my framing lady. Now, this is the coolest original artwork that I think anybody could ever own, and it's already framed, so I got to kind of scoot back, but it's super, super badass, in my opinion.
Hey, move your phone out of the way real quick.
My what?
Your phone, it's making the microphone do the noise.
That better?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So last year, I stalked and tracked down, and then I stalked the original artist for the Malibu Mortal Kombat comic series, and I befriended him, or so I thought. It actually ended up being a really sketchy ordeal by the time everything's said and done. And I ended up with a few pieces. He still got more, but I just can't take any chances on ordering more because of how that worked out. But anyway, stalked the guy, tracked him down. I confessed my love for everything that he did in those comic books, and I showed him my collection. You guys have seen it. I told him, I said, look, there's nobody on this planet that loves this shit more than I do. No one. No one has the comic book collection of your work that I have, and I need to own this piece. And he cut me a deal, which I thought was fair, and I now own the original concept art for Goro. The concept art. So this is what he drew. I'm trying to remember how he explained it. So they Malibu Comics wanted to change Goro's look from the video game. They wanted him to be bigger, more muscular, more menacing looking, give him all the fingers. They wanted him to be, just more comic book style looking, and they wanted something a little different. And this is what Patrick Rollo drew and brought to the table. And from then on, this is how Goro was depicted in comics. They pulled from his artwork to build the Jim Henson style Goro for the movie. It has been adapted into the games a little bit. This piece right here has been used, and it has produced so much for this character over the years, and all different avenues of Mortal Kombat. So to own the original concept art for that character is absolutely an incredible, incredible feat in my eyes. And I know it's not something that holds up to like the Secret Wars 8 original cover, but for me, this is, I wouldn't trade it for that. I would not trade it for that. I'm absolutely in love with this. And it was actually published. So this is still published original comic artwork. I forget which comic it was in, but it was published in one of the editors pages in the back of one of the books, and I can't remember which one it was. I wished I could so I could show you guys. I was thumbing through some of the issues before the show trying to find it, and I just ran out of time. But that is indeed a not just the original concept art, but it's even published art. So
Yeah.
And what's cool about it is like you can even see here where like it's not even all the way inked. Some of it's penciled, some of it's inked, and they just told him, they were like, nope, we're good. That works. I don't know if he just ran out of time or what, but he was like, they didn't even want me to finish inking it. He never even finished the piece. And I was like, don't mess with it. Don't touch it. sign it, leave it alone, give it to me. I want it.
Mhm.
So, I remember making the payments on this thing for the first quarter of this year, man. I was, I was selling all kinds of stuff. Um, because I had to put it in perspective. Would I rather own these comic books that I already have that I can obtain again easily? They're not
Mhm.
going away. Or would I rather have
Yeah.
this one piece? There's only one of them. This is the Mecca. This is the one. And I had to go for it. So it is easily probably the top three things in my entire collection of anything.
Yeah. No, it's pretty incredible. It really is. How big is it? 11 by 17?
It's on. What do they call the board? The paper that they draw the original art on for the comics.
I don't remember.
It's. I think it is 11 by 17, but it's on that actual board that the artists use. I
Yeah.
mean, where they write the issue number and
Yep.
Malibu Comics and all that at the top. So, um, it's official, man. It is absolutely official. When I got it, I was like, man, it'd be so cool if this was like published somewhere. And when I found out it was, because I was reading something, I forget which, and that's why I couldn't find it, because I forget which series I was reading digitally, and I saw it in the editor page. I was like, oh my god, this was published. It was actually in there. It was just a small clip of it, and I was like, that's awesome, man. And it was actually that picture. Like, they just snapped a picture of the page. I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to get on to some of the books. Um, I've got a stack of all kinds of stuff: video games, TV shows, movies, uh,
Mhm.
everything. So, along with Mortal Kombat, this was another video game that I absolutely adored as a kid. Killer Instinct. I did not play Killer Instinct Gold. I know everybody thinks Killer Instinct. They think of Killer Instinct Gold for Nintendo 64. We didn't have that. My mom had a Super Nintendo. My dad bought this game, and he and I used to play it all the time. Original Killer Instinct, the black cartridge was my jam, still is.
Tekken's way better though.
I like to play Tekken when after baseball games, we would go up to the Pizza Hut there in Dallas, and they had an
Mm,
arcade there, so we
yeah.
would all go play Tekken a little bit there too. Bristol board, thank you. Yes. Um, Another TV series, or get into a couple TV series. So Nick and I both have this book because we absolutely adore The Office.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we
Mine's
both
right there.
have two different versions. One of these neither one are. There were actually 10 prop versions that are actually out there in the wild. Neither one of us have any of those, but we do have this one, which is actually just like a couple of pages of story inside, and the rest of it's filler pages of just blank pages. And then the actual artist and writer that made the props, he actually went back and did the entire comic
Mhm.
book, and we met him at Huntsville last year or the year before. We both grabbed a copy of that from him as well. So very cool to have those. I would love to have one of the prop versions. The only problem with those is a lot of them have already been signed and got CGC yellow labels. And I wouldn't buy any of those because none of them were signed by Jim or Pam. And that's the only
Yep.
two people that, to me, I would want to sign it, because they were the only ones involved with this book. Pam had it created to give to Jim for Christmas. So I don't care about having Creed's signature on it. Love Creed. Don't want his signature on that book, though. So that's just me and how I felt about it. But another television show I loved as a child was Street Sharks. This is their first appearance in comic books right here in Street Sharks #1, the Archie Adventure series. They have two series. This cover is not as cool as the cover for um, is not as cool as the cover for Volume 2 in my mind, but it is still really cool. First appearance of them. Love that. This is
Mhm.
a
Oh, that one's
movie.
cool.
Nick and I both. This one, like, I know I loved this movie as a kid, but I remember Nick having to watch this at least once a day for like the first 3 years of his life. So I
Mhm.
became a humongous fan of the Jungle Book as well. This is not the first Jungle Book comic. I have the second print of the first Jungle Book comic, but I love this one because of the artwork, and it is a wraparound cover. I have it in a Comic Clear Supplies Mylar and clear backing board, guys. They don't sponsor us or anything, but I'm telling you guys, their product is legit. They got current, modern, silver age, golden age. Go check them out. Just a little short plug for those guys. But I love the artwork on this, man. It is absolutely beautiful. And it's almost like two different art styles. Well, it is two different art styles, because if you look here, it looks very animated. And if you look on the front, it's more of like a rough cut and just a totally different art. So that one is one I absolutely loved. This we watched this weekend, and man, I don't think that there is a way to express enough
Yeah.
love for this movie. There just isn't. This is
That was the first time both our kids watched it, right?
no, Hagen has seen it a
Oh,
bunch.
okay. I
Yeah.
was gonna say we
Yeah.
experienced a lot of firsts this weekend. We got to watch Ash win the
Oh yeah,
uh,
we did.
Pokemon Masters, and
Yep.
then
I was and that we'll talk about that here in a little bit too. But yeah, this movie here, it was a staple of, I know, many of our childhoods. For those of you watching the chat, but
yep.
I absolutely, I don't know, man. It's hard to express how much I love this and how many times I've seen it. I don't even know, but this was definitely the Kickstarter for my love of pirate things. And I'll get back into the pirate stuff here in a little bit as well. We have The Hobbit.
Whoa, yeah, man. I didn't even bring mine out. Mine are right here.
Yeah. Nick talked earlier about how much he and I both loved The Hobbit. Now, I've not read the books, but I cannot even tell you guys how many times Nick and I watched the first movie when it came out. Anytime we were together, we would have The Hobbit going. Like,
It's
even
the
if we
best.
weren't watching it, it was just background noise, something. We love the story of The Hobbit. So,
The
let's
best.
see. I collect and some of these things I've got slabs of, so I'm gonna have to kind of I'll end up like getting back into it. But I love to collect rock and roll comics. That's another thing that I know is a very niche thing for me. And I love to find ones. Maybe it wasn't even an artist or a band that I listened to very much, but but when some of these have such fantastic cover art, and I know who all of them are, but I loved, as I always love, Vanilla Ice. You know, I mean, people can be mean and laugh about it, but Vanilla Ice, man, Ice Ice Baby. I don't care who you are. You know all the words to the song. If it comes on, your ass is gonna sing it. You're gonna bob your head a little bit, because that's what happens when Vanilla Ice 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 Baby comes on.
So
I such a big fan of that song and Vanilla Ice that I choreographed a dance for me and Nick to do as a surprise for my wife on our wedding day at the rehearsal, and it was to Ice Ice Baby. That is on YouTube somewhere. You guys can go find it on your own. I'm not going to tell you how to find it, but there is a 18-year-old Dustin and like a 14 or 15-year-old Nick on there getting the hell down to Ice Ice Baby on YouTube.
yeah.
Another rock and roll comics that I have here is the NWA issue number 40. I love this book. This is one of the hardest ones to track down. There are some copies on eBay, but there weren't any copies on eBay until I started talking about this book last year, when I finally found a copy at Heroes. I have since tracked down 3 total copies in the wild since then, and that's all I've ever found. But it is an extremely hard book to get your hands on in high grade because of the back cover, which is the selling point for me for this book, because it is just an absolute masterpiece of artwork. Love it, love it, love it. My goal was to hit the first 9.8 on this. And since talking about this last year, some jerks have went out and found copies or dug them out and have now hit 3 9.8s, and the highest I've been able to do is a 9.6. So maybe one day.
Maybe.
Something else I loved as a kid, my kid loves it now, and we get to enjoy it together. We've spent the entire summer going around and meeting these guys, was wrestling. So I've got a couple of wrestling books here. This is probably, I can't think of many more wrestling books that probably go harder than this one right here. This is, I think it was like a 1 in 50 or a 1 in 100 for WWE. Ric Flair, the big gold belt there. Awesome back on it. I almost won an auction of a 9.8 signature series signed by Flair earlier this year. And I completely forgot the auction was going on. I lost it by $5, and I would have bid another 200 on it. But after looking at the census, though, there's actually more yellow labels by a lot than there are blue labels. There's only, I think, 10 or 11 blue labels, and there's over 30 yellow labels, I think. So
Ooh,
this is actually the rare one to have.
yeah.
And as much as I love that book, Flair was not my guy, though. Flair was not my guy. Nick, do you remember who my guy is?
Triple H, of course.
That's it, baby. There is none better than the Game, the GOAT, the cerebral assassin, the man that is running everything. Well, not anymore, but he should be. Triple H. This dude, I absolutely loved as a child. I love him now as an adult, seeing what he's doing. When you're a kid, you love John Cena. When you grow up, you realize Triple H really was the best. He could do it all. He was the best villain. He was the best one when it came to doing comedy. He was the best good guy coming in and saving the day. He could do it all, and he could make you believe it. He could make you hate him and want him to die the most visceral death possible, and he could make you love him and want to give your firstborn up to shake his hand. He was just that good.
Yep. Oh, I feel like he was the best anytime Shawn Michaels was involved.
Shawn Michaels is my number 2 all day. HBK is my number 2. And for a long time, he was my number 1, but I don't know, man. Triple H he's just that guy. And my son loves and adores Triple H too. His walk-up song for baseball, he leads off. He's the first batter on our team. So
Yeah.
when he walks up, boom, time to play the game. Boom, boom, time to play the game. And you should see the looks from some of the other kids and the other parents.
Probably very.
Some of the parents are like, and the ones that know are like, oh, hell yeah. So it's very cool. It gets him very pumped up when that song comes on and he's walking up to the plate. And I mean, you can see it in his face. It definitely does. It definitely does get him pumped up. So,
Yeah.
Macho Man, I don't have the Macho Man one. I've got a lot of the wrestling covers, but I've never secured the Macho Man one. So, yeah, Jericho. I love Jericho as well. Another thing I loved as a kid and up into my teen years. Nick, do you know what I'm fixing to show now? What was something else that was literally probably my first true love in life?
Oh, Pokemon.
No, I mean like this is something I dedicated every instant of my life to.
Basketball.
Basketball. Loved basketball. Played basketball nonstop, 24/7. In the yard, on the video games, watching the games. Loved it. Eat, breathe, sleep, everything basketball. And I also have always loved Godzilla. So had to show my Godzilla versus Barkley comic book. I was hunting this book down for a couple of years. And it was always like super expensive. And I didn't mind spending 50, 60 bucks for it, but I wasn't going to spend that much for a busted copy. So I actually found this copy for $4 last year at a trading card show. And it came back a 9.8. So very cool. Something just, again, this isn't something that's going to mean a whole lot to everybody else, but it just was something I could put in my collection that it kind of is a way to transition my love for basketball as a kid into comic books as well, with Godzilla on top of there. So, I mean, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
Nick spoke about it. Pokemon, man. This copy here was the first 9.8 of this book ever. First print. And this is, to me, the one to have out of the 2 series. You have Pokemon Adventures, which is an adaptation of the manga, and the manga was actually the first printed product of Pokemon ever. Now, don't think I want to go get the Digimon number 198. It's in the box in there. I didn't pull that one because I didn't really get into Digimon like that. But I got the Digimon number 198. But to me, this is an adaptation of the manga, which the manga series is actually where the Game Boy games, the blue, red, and gold, blue, red, and yellow, which we all loved, those characters and those stories are actually told in the manga and these comic books here. This is not Ash Ketchum. This is Red. If you remember in the game, you had a choice to name your own character or you could just name him Red. And Gary was not Gary, he was Blue. And if you read through the manga, it is fantastic stories, and that is what this is from. I have now read all of the manga as far as I wanted to anyway, from the regular Pokemon, like the first set of Pokemon anyway. So but to me, this is definitely the one to have. And this was the first 9.8. When I bought this on eBay, again, got it for $50 because nobody else cared but me. There was no other 9.8s on there. I don't know if there are now, but I have the entire series. I have all of the Pokemon adventures. So just another cool thing that I loved. I also wanted to show a couple of things from movies I loved as a kid. Men in Black. If you were alive in the 90s and did not see this movie or love this movie, then you probably should just go jump off a cliff because Men in Black was awesome, man. Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones, it was groundbreaking. It was awesome, and it's still something that I will watch any opportunity that I get. If it's on, if it's streaming somewhere, I'm definitely watching it. So, it's not an expensive book. It's not worth anything in a 9.8 even, but I wanted to put it on my slab wall so that I can look at it and got me a copy, sent it off to be graded, and I hit my own 9.8. So that made me very happy. You guys know I love the Jurassic Park. He did on foot. You guys know I love Jurassic Park, so I want to show off a couple of Jurassic Park comics. Now, I have a crap ton of Jurassic Park comics, but I have here, I will show you. This is the only signed copy of Jurassic Park #1. This is the Jim Miller, dadgummit. I almost said Jim Lee. Jim Lee, Frank Miller had a kid, and his name was Jim Miller, and he did a variant. This is the Frank Miller Incentive Edition for Jurassic Park #1, the IDW series. And I sent this in for the Frank Miller signing, and it hit a 9.8. So you can see there. Spinosaurus, got the guy hanging out of his mouth. You got the little FM down here, stands for F mother effers. I'm just kidding. You got Frank Miller's signature here. So very cool. Something that nobody else on the planet anywhere has except me. And maybe nobody else on the planet wants one except me, but that's what we're saying, guys. This is the kind of stuff we want to see out of your collection. Now, today was a really crap day for me. It was just a crappy day. Sometimes you just have a really shitty day. But you know what makes a shitty day better? When a book that you have pinpointed as a personal comic grail hits your doorstep and you've been worried that it got damaged in shipping because you bought it from an eBay seller that doesn't just sell comics. They're just a thrift seller. So you're probably not getting it in good condition. And it was packed kind of sketchy, but all is well because it is absolutely mint. It is a peach. And this is absolutely, for me, been something I've been searching after since the very beginning of my comic collecting journey. This is the Amber Chrome edition of Jurassic Park #1 from the top series, limited to 7,500 copies. The back is completely black. This is copy number 7,373. But because the back is black and it's a very, very thick cardstock cover, these get trashed all the time. Very hard to find one that is absolutely, just an absolute peach of a copy. So this made my day today. Whenever I opened it up, it was very, very sketchily packed and it was still okay. So it's got the chrome on there with the little holographic stuff going on. Absolutely love it. And guys, don't sleep. Don't sleep on Jurassic Park because look at the names attached to this. Walt Simonson, Gil Kane.
Yep.
And oh my gosh, what was his name? Oh no. I was just about to spit his name out and it won't come out now. Oh my gosh. What's his name? Somebody help me. He just passed away recently before he got to do his signing.
George Perez?
Yes, George Perez also did covers for Jurassic Park.
Oh,
So,
yeah, I know that.
I mean, this was some of Gil Kane's final work. Oh, there it is, right there on the freaking cover. George Perez,
Idiot.
Walt Simonson blah 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 blah. Walt Simonson script, Gil Kane and George Perez artwork, and this is the Amber Chrome edition. So this is definitely, I mean, like that's like an all-star cast to work on a comic book for Tops and Jurassic Park. I mean, like I said, people don't think much of this series maybe, but they Tops sure did because they went and got some big time names and put on it, and they did a fantastic job. The artwork inside, the artwork on the covers, it's all fantastic. All right, I'm finishing up, guys. I'm gonna show you guys,
This is why I went first.
right? And like I said, I just pulled a little piece of everything. Like I could do an hour on every avenue that I'm showing you guys little pieces of. But this has been my most recent uh thing that I have gotten on, and I have been going nuts with it. I told you guys I loved Hook, and it sparked a love for all things pirates for me. And I never thought about it until probably, I guess, at Lexington when I saw a cover and it was a great pirate cover, and I was like, how have I never thought about looking for pirate covers? So I have been buying those up, and these are some that I've obtained. This is one I got recently at Haven Comics this past weekend. This is
Yep.
Dell 574, Walt Disney's Old Ironsides, showing a fantastic painted cover here. You can see the pirate ship is just blowing up the other sailor ship there. You got a pirate over here. Not everybody on here is pirates, but we do know that this is a pirate ship, I believe. So it's just fantastic, man. I love the art on it. This is not an expensive book. There's nothing special about it except for I love it. And I've been trying to find a really, really peachy, nice copy of it. And I finally found one because they just get thrown in dollar bins and trash. So nobody cares. Uh,
So, Steve Hinton put a couple out for you.
I saw that. I did. I saw that. I was very, very intrigued to look at those. I forget what year this is, but we're going to get into a little bit of golden age here with Buccaneer issue number 8. Come on, you lads, sail into your lubbers. Love it, man. Just very cool. Just very simple pirate cover here. Very cool artwork. Um, and it's Buccaneer, man. Like, how much more pirate can you get than that? This is one that the day I got this in, I was very happy. I've had this on eBay watch lists and Shortbox watch lists, and I've got alerts set all over the place on the internet for this book. This is from 1953, Frankenstein number 26. Another just fantastic pirate cover here. You've got the old ratty looking pirate ship back there. The guy's jumped into his spearboat and he has put one right in Frankie's back. And I just don't think it's going to go very well for him. But love it, man. Great yellow cover. This is another one that is, this one is kind of pricey. These definitely run into hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I think that has more to do with the fact that it's golden age and it's Frankenstein's first run, but this one being a yellow cover and everything else, man, it's very hard to get a nice copy of, and I got lucky enough to get a really nice copy of it. This book I have not shown anyone yet. Well, I won't say anyone, but it has not been shown here on Two Brothers Comics YouTube channel. I picked this up. This was a Heroes Con 2023 purchase. This is probably my oldest book. It is 1940. It's pre-1945, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Wonder Woman issue number 20. Wonder Woman issue number 20.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Beautiful pink cover. Redbeard the pirate. I mean, beautiful. Absolutely. And outside of this little, it's got like a little rat chew right there. But I mean, outside of that, guys, if you look at this thing, I mean, you're talking early 40s. This is a freaking tastic copy of this book. Beautiful. So, not a Wonder Woman collector, but I am a monstrous pirate collector now. And this was one of my absolute favorite covers I saw when I finally started Googling pirate covers. So I can't remember the exact year that Wonder Woman number 20 came out, but
It was pretty early.
I'm thinking it's probably my earliest book in my collection. Now, after Hook, the next, I mean, this honestly, this is probably the best pirate movies ever. You can't beat Jack Sparrow. And I had no idea that Jack Sparrow had a comic book series. This is the first
Mhm.
appearance of Jack Sparrow in comic books. This was actually only sold at the Disney park. And I just happened to randomly flip through a box and find one at Atlanta Comic Con earlier this year.
Mhm.
I was chasing a 9.8. I hit 2 9.6s, and then I ended up just finding somebody that was selling a 9.8 because there's only like 6 or 7 of them out there. Found somebody had a really great deal on one, and I just said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to buy it because I need it. I got to have it. And, it's animated art, Jack Sparrow, but it is still indeed the captain.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And I didn't pull out my first appearance of Leather Wing. I forgot to get that one, but I do have that first Leather Wing. This is the one that started it all for my pirate collecting. This is the pirate comic book grail. There is not a harder to find, more expensive, or better pirate cover than this. Weird Terror, issue number 2 from 1952. This is the book that when I was pouting, walking around Lexington Comic Con early this year, because nothing was, you know, giving me a comic book boner, I guess is what I was saying.
Mm.
This book, when I saw it, this book, I mean, super comic book chubby. This is the second highest graded copy of this book. There are less than 10 on the census if I remember correctly. It is an extremely
Yeah.
stupid low. And I kind of hate that Callie is in here because all my pirate books are stuff that I was going to use on the hunt at some point, but oh well, I got to show it off. Uh, I did not get to buy this book at Lexington. I did not have the money. The guy
Yeah.
wouldn't come down enough. But when I was at Heroes Con, I remember the guy telling me he was going to be there. I was able to finally track him down. The book was on his wall. I said, "Give me the book." And he said, "What book?" I said, "You don't remember me?" He's like, "No." I said, "You're about to." I said, "All I got to do is tell you what book I want, and you're going to remember me." And I told him, and he was like, "Oh, you're the guy. Yep, here's your book, man." I was like, "Is that still the best price you can do on it, is what you told me at Lexington?" He said, "Yep." Didn't blink. I paid the cash to him. Here you go, man. And I mean, I I went and sat down on our couch in our booth, and I loved on it. Took a picture with it, and now this sits on my TV stand in here with a big pirate statue and a pirate skull I got on vacation this year. So that is the end all be all when it comes to pirate comic books, and it is a tough one. It is an absolute tough one, and I mean the highest grade on the census I think is a 7.0. So I mean this is about as good as it gets, and the 7.0 has never actually hit the market. I'm gonna finish up with 2 books that are special to me, guys. You guys know the story behind this if you've watched us long enough. This is what put us on the map with the 9.2 crew. I'm not going to explain why. I'm not going to explain how. I'm not going to tell you how you could obtain it, but I am going to tell you guys this is the only copy of this book on the planet in a 9.8. Now, I know a lot of you are very confused right now, but I assure you, if anyone knows their shit when it comes to these books, it is me. Trust in your boy. There is no other copy of this book in a 9.8 on the planet. And I have the only one, and I think that is fitting. So very, very happy. There's several books that I have there's several books that I have the only 9.8s on the planet, or maybe the only copy on the planet that anybody cares about. But that's what this show's about, guys. The
Mhm.
stuff that you love that maybe doesn't mean anything to anyone else. I mean, there's probably I would say probably 90% of comic book collectors could give a shit about that book right there, but I would not let that book go for $10,000. And given what the other copies of that book, and given what the copies that look like that book go for in a 9.8, 10 grand is not even out of the question.
Yeah.
The final book I'm going to show you guys, I haven't shown any books pertaining to this franchise, but this is the this is the first appearance of the character that brought Dustin to comic books. You guys know Power Rangers had to make an appearance. Um, this is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 9, the second print. This is the helmet cover for Lord Draken, which is the evil Green Ranger Tommy. Fuse the White Ranger and Green Ranger powers together to destroy the Power Rangers. You guys, if you know me, you know what this series means to me. Is for my entire life, this is the series. This is the character I saw on Instagram and had to figure out where that was from. I thought it was a new character on a show, and I found out it was in comic books, and now I'm here. So this is the character that probably means more to me than any other character in comic books, because I wouldn't have anything to do with this stuff if it was not for this character. And this copy happens to be signed by my childhood hero, Jason David Frank. I obtained this before he passed away, just a couple months beforehand. So I got a fantastic deal on it. So just another reason that this book would be very, very special to me. And it's another one, like there's nothing that would make me sell this book. There's
Yeah.
not enough money. I don't care. Yes, I could buy another copy just like it, but this is my copy now. So that's something that may not be special to anyone else but me, just because of the story behind it. And so that's the reason why Nick and I'm done. That's all I have.
I'm
But
disappointed.
I told you I was just grabbing a few select items from everything. But
Oh no, I'm just being funny because it was like 45 minutes worth.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry. You guys know how I am.
Oh man.
When we get to talk about this kind of stuff, like I can just go and go and go, because you guys got to understand something about me. I absolutely love this shit. All of
He
it.
has a sickness.
I don't care what kind of comic books it is. If they're close in the vicinity, I want to put my hands on them. This is all I do. This consumes every part of my life, everything comic books. And everything that I love, I try to find a comic book that relates to that, so that I
Yep.
can take everything I love and put that into the thing that I love most, which is comic books. I love this shit more than anything else on this planet
He is a
outside of,
fan.
inanimate objects. I will say there's nothing to me that tops this shit right here. I love it. And we hope that you guys will be excited to come on here and show the shit that you love that much, the stuff that maybe you guys didn't care for everything that we showed here tonight. Maybe you saw something and you were like, oh my god, I didn't know about that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yep.
That's the whole point of this. And it's an opportunity for you to come on here, spend 45 minutes blabbering on about stuff that you may not get an opportunity to talk about with other people, because maybe you think nobody cares, or maybe nobody does care. Maybe it's not stuff you're going to show off on competition shows or grail halls, or stuff like that, stuff that you may not think's worthy of putting on an Instagram post or a YouTube channel. That's the stuff we want to see here. So we wanted to kind of give an example and show you
Yep.
guys like what we want to see. Run about an hour long per show. Bring the good shit for us. We want to see it. And by the good stuff, we mean the odd, the unique. And you know what? Maybe what you love the most is Hulk 181s and Avengers 4.
Yep.
Bring them.
That's
But
right.
we don't want you to feel like that you have to come on here blowing people's socks off with big grails, because that's not what it's about. It's about the stuff that you love the most, the stuff that if there's a house fire going on and money doesn't matter anymore, what are you grabbing? That's
Yep.
the stuff we want you guys to bring.
For sure. So anything else you want to add, or you feel good? I feel good. That was a
I'm
good
good,
show.
man. I'm good. I want to see the DMs come in. You guys
Yep.
shoot us a message on Instagram. Hey, we want to be on the show. And we're going to start making a list every other Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on Two Brothers Comics. Excuse me.
Mhm.
Sorry. Maybe we can come up with like some official backgrounds and stuff, or we're gonna get it all worked up into a big fancy show. We promise. But it's just gonna take a little time. So we hope that you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you guys share it out. Let people know what we're doing. This is something that's I think is very different from what everyone else is doing. So I think
Yep.
it's, we wanted to give something refreshing. Not that what everyone else is doing isn't great, but you guys know how we are. We've always wanted to kind of step outside the box and give something, what's the word?
Unique, different.
Unique, original, different, kind of like the stuff we want you to bring on the show.
Yep. So with that being said, guys, as always, collect your way.
Your way.
Finger guns, mother.